Hey team, Luke at Crusader Machining here. Have you ever heard the buzzword ISO and you're not sure what it means? Or have you heard about ISO 9001 and you're considering doing it, but you really don't know if you should or how to go about that? If so, you should follow along with this next 6 to 7 minute video. Hey puppy, we are going to talk about some introductory steps into ISO and try to help to clarify a little bit on what I think you should do to prepare for ISO. Follow along. This will be a fun one if ISO is your thing. ISO 9001 2015. Some people could say, hey Luke, what authority do you have to even give anyone advice on that? You're a blue-collar machinist. And I would say that is true. I am, in fact, a blue-collar machinist. But what I also am is someone that got our company ISO certified about 10 years ago. Crusader Machining is a multimedia and educational aspect underneath the job shop company that's operating here. The job shop is Progressive Turnings. Underneath that is Crusader Machining, which is what I do here, social media, educational related, and we have a lot of plans to grow and scale that over the next couple of years. So the job shop aspect of it, I did get certified ISO 9001. About 10 years ago, we had a couple customers that we were looking at that wanted to know what's our quality standard. Me and my dad are saying, what is that? What do we do? Of course, we've heard of it. So we dove into the world of ISO. After a challenging understanding and getting a grip of it, that's what we did. I was a project manager on it, got us certified. It probably took about a year worth of working. And back then, we really didn't have, this is 10 years ago at least. Now you can type in ISO 9001 and you get hundreds of videos on people that could help you, shorts or videos on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. It's wonderful. I think people should go that route and try to tackle it first. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. What I think, as someone who did it, what I think that you should do if you're preparing to tackle ISO 9001. So the first thing is first. What is ISO 9001? ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. It's a global group that creates standards for everybody to basically play by the rules, the same rules. 9001 is the specific standard number for quality management systems, or what we use, QMS. There's ISO 9001 for QMS, quality management systems, but there's also aerospace, military, and several other ones. So the ISO 9001 2015, that is the year of the last updated version. So that's what ISO 9001 2015 means. Now let's dive in deeper on 3 things I think that you should do to prepare for ISO. The first tip that I would say, and this is a far-reaching, expanding tip. It's about a paradigm that you need. Hey, Puppo. It's about a paradigm that you're going to need if you're going to truly embrace the tools and the benefits of ISO. Your core mindset of this. Say what you do and do what you say. Document your processes accurately. Say what you do, then consistently follow them. Do what you say. A lot of people believe that you're just going to have to adhere to all the standards of ISO. On one hand, that's true, but that's oversimplifying it and complicating it at the same time, if that's even possible. I would say 60, 70, maybe 80% of shops right now already have processes and systems in place that would adhere to many of the required standards of ISO. You just have to document them. Grab a copy of the standard. You can find it on Amazon, the ISO 9001 2015 standard. Get a copy of the standard and start laying out your systems and processes according to that. You're going to find that a lot of what you already do adheres to it. Here's one example. Material. When you order material, you're ordering your material based upon what the customer needs. You're ordering the grade, the quantity, the size. When that material comes in, you're checking what it is. You just have to document that system. I order material what the customer needs. When it comes in, I verify that it's the material and then keep records of what it is. Say what you do and do what you say. How do you handle non-conforming parts? You're already doing it properly, I'm sure. I hope. If you get bad parts that come off the machine, if you got a part that's non-conforming, you're not shipping it to the customer. You're doing something with it. That something is your process. You're going to have to fine-tune it to what the standard says and what the standard wants, but you're already doing a lot of it. It helps to prevent what we call tribal knowledge, where one person just knows what to do, and if that person is on vacation, no one knows what to do. With properly implemented ISO, you already have that person's process and system laid in place. Train someone, of course, document the training, and then they can do it. So not only are you getting the standard, which is going to be awesome for work and credibility for your company, it can really help to improve your business. It's foundational. This mindset is foundational, and it sets the tone for ISO. It's about real improvement, further than just paperwork. Let's move to step 2. The second tip that will run over from the first about doing what you say and say what you do: map out and document your existing processes before changing anything. Many shops fail by jumping straight into creating new documents and new processes and new systems when they already have them. You're already doing it. Starting with your typical job flow, quoting the job, ordering material, receiving it, programming the job, machining, in-process inspection, and then finally shipping. And if you start out there and expand from that point of what you're already doing, then you fill in the holes of what you need to conform to the standard. For example, you receive material. Your system should be someone who's trained, verifies the material is correct according to the PO. Identify what's already working for you. Document it, plan it. Do what you say and say what you do. Tip number 3 could be what causes your make or break and your level of success and frustration with ISO. When implementing ISO, you need to ensure that you have top-down, all-in mentality. If you're the owner of the company or top management and you want to implement ISO, you have to make sure that you have a team working with you that will help you along your road to success. Now, if you're somewhat middle management, say a shop foreman or production manager, and you want to implement ISO in your company, you need to make sure that all your leadership above you have the all-in leadership commitment to fully implement the system. You need to set quality objectives, allocate your resources, and demonstrate involvement from everyone in the company. If you don't, then the operators and anyone that's working below you in your hierarchy are going to see it as a side project and are not going to take it seriously. ISO 9001 can be a very difficult and daunting task, but when you have a rock-solid, concrete team working both above and below you, you will be on a path to success. And if you're the boss, you're the big boss that's going to be implemented, you need to be on board, or it's going to be a long, hard road to get there. Those would be 3 things I would start with. Is there a lot more after that? Oh yeah, but is it doable? 100%. If someone like me can get us ISO certified, you can as well. If you have done ISO, if you're familiar with quality management systems, drop your comments below. Maybe someone else watching the video can learn something from you. This is a basic introductory video on ISO, and if you want me to cover more about it, I'd be more than happy. Drop a suggestion. And of course, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, share it far and wide. Always love the comments. Always love the conversation back and forth that we find in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Once again, Luke at Crusader Machining, signing out.